Hello, my name is Gino Barbaro, one of the co-founders of Jake and Gino and the creator of the Baby Money Soldiers concept. In this week's show, we're going to be discussing the differences between the poor, the middle class, and the wealthy mindsets. Not poor person, middle class person, wealthy person, but the mindsets that each one of these adopts. Because believe it or not, you can have a poor mindset and still be earning 7 figures a year. Doesn't matter how much money you're earning. I came across this concept when we interviewed MJ DeMarco about 4 or 5 years ago. And I loved his analogy of the sidewalk, the slow lane, and the fast lane. And that's what he's talking about. You can be on the sidewalk as a poor person's mentality where you're making $2 million a year, $3 million a year, whatever that number is. And all of a sudden you're blowing all that money and you have nothing left to invest in. You have that poor mindset. The middle class mindset, it would be the slow lane where you get on, and this is really where I fell in for the vast majority of my adulthood before I understood these concepts. The middle class, they save for an event. They get some extra money and they put money into a 401k. They put money into a 529 plan. They're saving for retirement. They're saving for these things, but they're not velocitizing their money. They're not putting their money into vehicles that can make them money. They're not buying businesses because they're not taught to do that. That's the middle class mindset. That's where I was. Now, the wealthy mindset, completely different, right? The wealthy mindset is not saving money for an event. I was saving money for my kids' college. When my wealthy mindset shifted, all of a sudden, that very first asset that Jake and I bought back in 2013, it was a 25-unit property. Well, within 3 years, that property was generating significant money. Now, from that asset, I used that money to pay for an event. The first event, significant event, was my first daughter that went to college. That asset paid for my daughter's college. You see, there wasn't a lot of money. That asset wasn't millions of dollars. It was a 25-unit deal split amongst 3 of us. So technically, I owned 8 units. But yet, those 8 units was enough for me to pay for her college. And the beautiful thing about it is I still own the asset. After she left college, my son went to college. And that asset is paying for my son. It's still generating cash flow every month. It's still appreciating in value. I still have tax benefits from it. It's still a hedge against inflation. So it doesn't matter how much the asset's generating. It's the mindset of me saying that I'm not going to put money into a savings vehicle. So when the event is done, the savings are depleted. There's no more money left. That was the epiphany, the aha moment that it took for me to say, I want to adopt the wealthy mindset. What does it take for me to start buying assets that produce cash flow that ultimately allow me to start paying for these events? I'm going to give you a few examples of what the wealthy mindset focuses on and how you can start adopting a wealthy mindset, because it's really about behaviors. If you believe that you can adopt the wealthy mindset, behaviors are belief driven, then you will be able to do it. And if you start utilizing your baby money soldiers into that mindset of the wealthy, well, the wealthy do a lot of things, right? They plan. That's the very first thing that they do. Proper planning prevents poor performance. Now, for me to plan for her college, I had to buy the asset. I had to work on that asset. I had that asset start producing cash flow for me. I plan to do that. Beginning of every year, we sit down, we write our goals, we write our visions, but we're planning every quarter as well. The poor mindset and the middle class mindset really don't plan. They're just giving their money over to somebody. Well, the poor mindset gives their money over to Gucci and to Louis Vuitton. So their money's gone. Their baby money soldiers are dead. They haven't even had a chance to get on the battlefield. They're gone. The middle class, at the very least, gives their money to mutual funds, gives their money to stocks and bonds, and they just release it. They don't have any control. The next characteristic, which is so important, the wealthy mindset have a long-term vision. I knew it wasn't going to be easy. I knew it was going to take me a couple of years to get the real estate going, but I had that mindset of being long-term. Whereas the poor mindset, they're in and out. Transactions pay the bills. Equity makes you rich. All you're doing is working for that day. And that's what was happening to me when I had the restaurant. I was working week by week. I wasn't building wealth. I was just paying the bills, and whatever little was left over, I would go out and I would spend it. The wealthy mindset. They become experts in their field. They really focus on education, and they focus on becoming experts on their field. This is important. They also become solution oriented. When I had that poor mindset, and I deviated between poor and middle class, sometimes I would hit wealthy, but not very often. Every time I had a problem, it was always, what's the problem? I didn't think about the solution or the opportunity. I thought, I've got this problem. I'm not making enough money. Well, I wasn't asking the right questions. What can I do to become more valuable? Or what's the solution for me to make more money? Instead of complaining, look for solutions. And as you start adopting that wealthy mindset, all of a sudden, you still have fear, but you start taking actions in the face of fear. I remember on that very first deal, I was afraid. It was scary. For me at the time, it was $27,000. It was a lot of money for each of us, $27,000. But not even that. The money wasn't the scary part. It was the unknown. Taking on a partner, Jake, that I didn't know. But I knew over the long term, buying this asset at that price, what's the worst thing that can happen? I would sell it for a little loss. What was even worse, though, was not taking that next step. And relationships with the wealthy mindset, I knew that I needed to grow and to expand. And that first relationship with Jake was golden. That has led me to over 1,800 units. That has led me to all these things that I've learned over the last 10 years. Relationships are crucial. The poor mindset, all they're looking to do is to exploit, win, lose. I want to win, you want to lose. Now, win-win, what does that mean? Trying to provide value for both sides. Trying to say that what is your problem? I am the problem solver in this real estate deal. With the wealthy mindset would say, you need to sell this property. I can close for you. I can do this for you. Let me help you. That's what the wealthy mindset's trying to do. I had mentioned also for the wealthy mindset, transactions pay the bills. That's what the poor mindset adopts. The wealthy mindset, man, equity makes you rich. You're deferring your payment. You know that equity down the road, ownership, was what truly brings value and true wealth to your balance sheet. Time. You see how I paused there? The wealthy mindset understands that time is a crucial asset. How are you utilizing your time? When I had the poor mindset, I owned the restaurant, I was washing dishes. I was in the kitchen hiding. I was out in the shed at my restaurant doing inventory. $10 an hour work at the time. I was killing my time. The wealthy mindset understand that there's a lot of things that are truly important but not urgent. And that's what Stephen Covey's quadrant there is. The poor and the middle class, we're always putting out fires. Well, we're always focusing, in the business, always working in the business. The wealthy mindset works on the business. They know that time is a very important asset. I had a mentor of mine tell me that that's a bunch of crap. Everyone says time is your most important asset, most valuable asset. He goes, bull. If you're spending your time doing things that are inefficient or not creating value, then it isn't your most important asset. But the wealthy know that they're creating time and they're utilizing by focusing on revenue generating tasks and by being more efficient. Going out, if you're in multifamily, you're looking for properties, things that you need to do with your time: underwrite deals, network with brokers, network with investors, go to events. These things are not urgent. They don't need to be done, but they are so important to building, remember again, long-term, to building a long-term future. So understanding that is really important. I think one of the last things that we should really wrap this up. I could talk about this forever, but you're seeing the vast differences. Once again, it's not about how much money you make, but if you start adopting the wealthy mindset, inevitably, throughout your own fault, without no one's fault but your own actions, you will start attracting money. Money is being seen as the result with the wealthy. Profit is the fuel. It's not the destination. With the poor mindset, all I was looking for was at the end of the week to get paid. I want to get paid. I'm not worried about what I'm going to do with it, but I need to get paid. The wealthy understand that the more value I provide, the more problems I solve, the result is I'll end up having more money. And ultimately, as the wealthy mindset says, surround yourself with the right people who adopt that kind of mindset. Focus on becoming a producer. The wealthy mindset focuses on becoming that producer, not just the consumer. You're killing your baby money soldiers if all you're doing is consuming. The wealthy want to produce, create, and produce, and continue to reinvest those baby money soldiers. Now, if you want to learn more about baby money soldiers, just go to jakeandgino.com. We've got tons of resources. You can go onto our podcast. We're always talking about investing in multifamily. We're talking about personal development. We have a Movers and Shakers channel, which focuses our students on closing deals. There's over 200 deals, 200 Movers and Shakers podcasts that are on there right now. Our students have closed over 75,000 units to date. That's over $5 billion in value. How are they doing it? We're teaching them how to become generals in their baby money soldier story and looking at their financial picture as a battleground, being able to deploy their baby money soldiers efficiently. The wealthy mindset understands it. It's a battlefield. It's a financial plan right there. And you are the general. You are taking control. You're pulling some, you're letting some attack. You're pulling some back for reserves. You're using some to protect on your flanks for insurance, right? Long-term planning. You're letting some attack, and then when you sell a property, all of a sudden you're taking some off the battlefield to redeploy somewhere else. Understanding that wealthy mindset and adopting all these characteristics will ultimately lead you to becoming financially free and taking control of your financial future. Until next time, we will see you on the next Baby Money Soldiers show. Thanks and be well. Thanks for tuning in. If you enjoyed today's video, be sure to like and subscribe so you'll never miss another episode.